It's game day. Boy, Big Kev is in and holding it down for CEO Hayes, who I believe just popped in. He got a couple of internet issues. We're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls versus the Charlotte Hornets tonight in the United Center right after the intro.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see bread, I see bread, I see bread, I see bread, yeah, I see bread, I see bread, I see.
Yo, look at you, man.
Hey, no, this is your show. I'm the guest. You was holding it down. Oh no, what's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Get somebody that holds you down like Big Kev holds me down. Is all I can say. Shout out to this brother, man. I've been dealing with a catastrophe with internet. AT&T fiber wanted to come out and fuck up my shit. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do any of the shows today. And Kev was ready to hop in there for your boy. No questions asked. Get you somebody that got your back like Big Kev got mine is all I can say. Thank you to that, brother. Appreciate. I'm still able to make it on time, but fuck it. We're going to rock it out together today. How you doing, Kev?
Yes, sir. Hey, listen, man. The whole squad got your back, man. This is what we do. We brothers. It's great, man. I got the day off today, so I've been chilling, just playing Call of Duty, recording, playing Call of Duty, same difference.
Listen, I mean, we were supposed to do an NBA Central episode earlier. Like AT&T really effed around a lot of business today, but we're gonna catch up.
Hey, with them fiber optics ain't nothing to sneeze at when they working.
Oh, when they working, yeah, that's why you heard me even through my complaints. I ain't say I was gonna leave their ass, right?
Yeah, we my wife and I are looking at internet providers now because we about to move into the house, so it's that's definitely at the top of the list to try to go the fiber route as opposed to just broadband Wi-Fi approach.
Yeah, it's a big difference. But with the updates, let's start off with this one. The injury report: Nikola Vucevic is out today. Giddey's active. Torrey Craig will be a game time decision. Zach LaVine is active as well. Josh Giddey's active. Dalen Terry's out, and Adama Sanogo has been activated. Now, Kev, Vooch has been a big, important role for the Bulls, not just because of the stats. You also got to look at Vooch. He's been stepping up a lot in the clutch for the Bulls, really stepping into kind of that role that DeMar DeRozan had when the Bulls offense kind of stagnates and they need a bucket. They've typically gone to Vooch even over Zach LaVine so far. So when you look at not having Vooch in this game, how do you think the Bulls can weather it if it does come down to a clutch situation for this team today?
I mean, that's a huge blow for the Chicago Bulls. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it here, bro. Like, Vucevic, even though you said it's not about the stats, he's shooting the best as he's shot in his career, over about 60% from the field, over 40% from three. Actually, 50-some% from three right now?
I think he's down to 48% now, but still almost 50%.
Yeah, so it's like they need him out there. And even defensively, even though he can't jump, he clogs up the lane. He plays with those long arms. He creates issues for people as they drive to the basket. But his next man up, I'm expecting Smith to go out there and take care of business. Sanogo gonna get some minutes. And at the end of the day, Patrick Williams is back. So all of these guys are going to have to step up, man. As much as I want to see Vucevic continue to play well, it sucks that he's not out there, man. Like, geez. He's one of the few Bulls that I enjoy watching night in and night out this season so far.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. First of all, Jay, I was going to ignore this, but I'm petty and I got energy today.
I was wondering if you saw that.
Yeah. As somebody whose name is Jimmy, you really should watch out, bro. Like, if you ain't got people that hold you, if you don't know what that phrase means, you're just an idiot. That's not a funny joke. So, chill down, Jimmy.
Here's a Jimmy joke about your mama that you might not like.
But yeah, the Vooch, missing Vooch is going to be big for this team today because even with Jalen Smith plays really good in his minutes. Adama Sanogo, I'm confident Adama Sanogo is going to come in and at least rebound and block some shots really well. I feel very confident about that, but you don't really have that threat to be that type of scoring punch that Vooch has been this year for the Bulls. Like, Jalen Smith can also make threes. He's made some key threes for this team, but it's really more than that. How Vooch puts the ball on the floor, how he passes at times in the clutch as well. So, we'll see how this team.
The pick and roll for Vooch has been lethal, especially with Josh Giddey. And that's the real thing. Josh Giddey is looking for Vucevic more so than anybody else with the exception of Lonzo Ball before he got hurt. So, like, I'm expecting Smith to come in and play that same role, pick and roll, pick and pop, and let's see if he can hold it down. I'm not expecting him to get 20 and 10, but let's not forget in years past with Drummond and now Sanogo. When Vooch has been out, the backup big man has come in and given us 20 and 20s, 20 and 25s, 25 and 25s. So maybe we'll get that, maybe perhaps collectively from the two bigs today. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Patrick Williams is making his return. Something I was really excited about on the Daily Show today is that Billy Donovan talked on 670 The Score a lot about playing Patrick Williams and Modest Vucevic out there together. Now, I look at it and I say that's kind of where the NBA is gone. Kev, you can let me know how you feel. Like back in the day, it was, can you have a dynamic guard lineup? Now it's kind of being this versatile forwards. If you can have versatile forwards that can switch, that can both get out and run, those type of things. You think of Jalen and Jason Tatum in Boston, Franz and Paolo in Orlando. It really comes down to those versatile forwards. If you can have that, all the ones in Houston, they got a lot of versatile forwards there. What do you think that could unlock for this team? Not necessarily in just this game, but if Billy Donovan sticks to it, how do you see Modest Vucevic and Patrick Williams fitting out there together?
So we talked about it today on Chi-Town Sports Central. Shameless plug. Go ahead, follow that channel if y'all ain't doing it already. But I'm kind of down on Patrick Williams, to be 100. I think he should be coming off the bench, not necessarily just for this game, but for the foreseeable future, just because of his injury history. His minutes need to be around that 20 to 25 minutes. And we know that I just feel like he's never going to live up to that number 4 overall pick moniker that he got. But at the end of the day, when he did play point forward, the one game that he did this season, he had a career high in assists. He looked more aggressive. He was going to the basket. He was finding his teammates. And him and Vucevic out there, that's what it's going to be. The ball in Patrick Williams' hands, Vucevic moving around, and I guess Sanogo out there with them because, if Smith is starting.
Smith, yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's going to be fun. Of course, Lonzo Ball as well. His minutes are going up. I think he had over 20 minutes in the Philadelphia game.
Yeah, he's now at a 22-minute restriction, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, I'm excited to see it. Like I want to see Patrick Williams unlocked. I have way more grace for Vucevic than I do for Williams because he's a rookie. So he's going to make his rookie mistakes. But we got to figure out how to get Patrick Williams to be the best Patrick Williams, the florist, as it will. He has to flourish. He got to. What I do?
Shout out to Big Kev with the underrated shade. That is hilarious. Yeah, and I also think like the one thing, and I kind of talked about this on Central and on Locked On today, is that with the Bulls not having like the traditional size at the center position, right? Like now, especially now with Vooch out, we have positional size at just about every other position. And playing Modest and Patrick Williams out there together, you look at our guards. We have all guards that are technically big guards. Giddey, Lonzo, Kobe. We know that he has the wingspan thing, but at almost 6'6" as a guard, Ayo Dosunmu. And it's a lot of wings. But like we always used to talk about how like AK really likes to go after those players with those long wingspans. And really, when you look at it, slowly but surely we get in there.
Oh yeah, like Vucevic is that, and then if the Bulls actually suck and they end up getting Cooper Flag, he's going to be that. I think we should go out to Ace Bailey, or it's another young cat.
Ace Newell for me. Ace Newell, bro.
Yeah. So, listen, bro, it's a couple of guys that's better than Flag in my opinion. That's hooping right now out of St. John and the Rutgers. But at the end of the day, that's what they want. And it's not just the Bulls, though. You mentioned it earlier, like the Houston Rockets. Watching them play against Golden State the other night, it's just a lot of rangy dogs out there. Mm-hmm. They just out there scrapping and clawing. When the last time you saw the doggone Golden State Warriors score 90 points in a game, bro? So at the end of the day, man, it could be good for the Bulls, and they could be taking a step in the right direction. But I'm just not sold. I got to see Patrick Williams perform with a sample size enough for me to believe that he can be the answer, even with that contract extension they gave him.
Yeah, well, the thing is, too, is I think, and I understand the people that are still like the 4th overall. I've come down on that. Like, I look at Patrick Williams as this. If Patrick Williams is going to be a solid, versatile defender, because Billy Donovan's used him to guard for a lot of 5s this year. So that means that we know Patrick Williams can guard on the wing. He can guard power forwards, if he can guard centers and hit the 3 ball at a 40% clip, which he's done over the last 3 seasons when you combine it. Like, if you have somebody like Modest Vucevic with their scoring upside next to P. Will, I think that kind of weathers. It just depends on what the rest of the team looks like as we keep building this thing out. I like Patrick Williams is a 10-point per game guy with solid defense and 40% 3-point shooting. I'm not mad
Yeah, I
at
mean,
that.
and every once in a while, I'll give you 15 and 8, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
17 and 10 type.
Every once in a while, yeah.
But I don't expect him to do it every single night. He's already shown us who he is. So, like, at that point, you got to believe him, you know?
Yeah, when people show you who they are, you got to believe them. A lot of people get in bad relationships not believing who people show them that they are.
And then they be like, he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. You knew that already.
Hey, listen, we got to start eventually starting talking about it. A lot of these women are narcissists too.
A lot. The majority.
I'm being PC right now, Kev. Let me
that's
cook.
a different conversation.
That's a different conversation for a different day. I'm glad we're on the same page. That's why we brothers. So when it comes down to Kev, man, how you feeling about this game on the Charlotte side of things? Now, they are without LaMelo Ball. Brandon Miller's made another step. I know. I always love seeing LaMelo Ball play basketball. Miles Bridges is still scoring pretty well. They got Trey Mann, who's been really playing good for them this season. And we know that
he might be out too. Is he out? I think he might be out. He was on the list earlier when we looked. I think he was a game time decision.
Oh, okay. But with the Bulls, and we know that we've watched the team for so long, they always seem to let some random role player go off on them. Who on the Charlotte Hornets outside of Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges gives you the most concern today?
So it might not be from a points perspective, but that boy Diabate is a board, bro.
Yeah, Musa Diabate, absolutely, bro.
He is a board, man.
Another guy that I wanted the Bulls to draft, by the way, but I'm just gonna leave that alone.
Yes, it's a lot of guys across the league that we wanted on this Bulls roster that just, it's just that it doesn't work out. They don't watch enough Chicago Bulls Central. But when Miles Bridges is out too, right? So, and guess what, bro? I gotta say this. Yeah, I think he's out. I gotta say this before we move forward. Seeing Taj Gibson still playing basketball is insane, bro. And he's been starting. Shout out to Taj Gibson, man. One of the Chicago Bulls from the last glory days that we've had. But I do expect Brandon Miller to come out and play really, really well. It's probably gonna be Diabate, man. Like with our big man out, he's gonna be down in that paint, grabbing boards, getting block shots. And sometimes I think the Bulls are going to underestimate him, and he might mess around and get a double-double tonight.
He could. So updated from Charlotte, Miles Bridges, Tejon Saloon, and Seth Curry are all playing today.
Okay, cool.
But LaMelo, Trey Mann, and Grant Williams are all out.
So Trey Mann is out. Yeah, so it's going to be a night for the Bulls. They can't take any nights out. It don't matter for Chicago sports in general who's on the court. It's going to be a dog fight every single game.
That's a fact. That's just how. I mean, and it's like when the Bulls are so bad defensively that it always, like, any team can get back in the game if you just have the right shooting and execution for a quarter. You can get back against the Chicago Bulls. Like, as good as our offense is, our defense is so bad that it just gives a lot of opportunity. You get hot in the quarter, or let a player get hot for a half, they right back in the game.
Yeah, we give up the second most points in the league behind the Washington Wizards, and they're bad too. I think they only got 3 wins so far. But guess what? They got 1 less home game won than we do. They got 2 home game wins. We got 3. And we're at home today. I just don't understand it, bro. Like, the Chicago Bulls fans deserve better. We know how expensive it is to go to the United Center with your family, buy food and drinks, and then watch basketball. At the very least, Chicago Bulls fans need to see some wins. It's crazy that the Bulls are above 500 on the road and so far below 500 at the crib.
It's listen, this team makes no sense, bro. Like, it doesn't. We don't make sense, and we never really have, bro. It's always some type of weird stat or something you look at with this Bulls team. You're just like, how are we that? How did we get there?
It's crazy, Flockavelli. I was gonna refer to him as that, but I couldn't. Like, I couldn't allow Taji Wu to come out of my mouth like that. And you just put it in the chat. I didn't know if other people recognize or acknowledged him as such. I have a female friend who's a Bulls fan who always called him Taji Wu, but I didn't think other people call him that. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild.
Am I gone? Hayes, is that you or me? I think that was Hayes.
Yep, that was me. Listen, this is when you getting piecemeal internet together. I can't wait to get my fiber internet back, bro. I can't wait. It's like I had it for a week and haven't had to worry about those upload speeds, bro. I'm uploading daily episodes in 4 minutes now, bro.
Yeah, that's that Metamucil internet, bro. It's letting it flow.
Yeah. I don't even remember what point I was about. I was about to make a point. I don't remember what it is now because it just got instantly frustrated because the internet going down just reminded me of what I've been going through today. So it is what it is. I got that Chicago Bulls internet today. It's been stripping a little bit. Guards. We haven't talked a lot about Kobe White today. He's been in a slump, clearly in a slump. When you look at it over the last 5 games, he's shooting like 36% overall from the field. It's not the first time we've seen a slump like this from Kobe, but how are you feeling about the slump that Kobe's currently in?
Yeah, I mean that's Kobe. That's just how it is. Last season he slumped to start the season, and then he got to the first week of, well, I guess like the last week of November, and then went on a stretch of like 2 months of hot. Oh my God, he's gonna be the most improved player, and then he was up and down for the rest of the season. I just expect that to be Kobe. Part of the reason is because he doesn't play to his strengths. Instead of attacking the basket, getting to that mid range, he likes to settle for threes. He's going to go for the step back, side step three, or the 30-foot three, which I know you can make it in practice, but it's different during live action. And those types of things, if he hits it, he's going to be on. But if he misses, then it's going to be 2 or 3 misses, which leads to him taking 5 or 6 more bad shots throughout the rest of the night. Hopefully tonight he starts hot and continues to be hot, because that's Kobe is a streaky offensive player at the very least.
So Kobe's offense, Kev, it's gone from last season. The majority of his shots were on drives and in the mid range. Almost 50% of his offense are coming between above the break threes and corner threes this year. Do you think that that's what is that he's not able to get into as much rhythm because he's off ball? Or do you think this is just the typical Kobe drought? He'll be fine in the long run.
No, you just said it, because he had the ball in his hands last season, so he was able to pick and choose his spots. This season he's off ball trying to do catch and shoots. And the case in point was when they had that fast break against Indiana, or was it Philly? I think it was Philly. When he had a wide open layup, and instead of going to the basket, he tried to flare to the corner, and Josh Giddey was playing basic basketball and leading him to the basket. It's like, no, you got to take the easy shots. And right now he's doing what the coaches are telling him to do first and foremost. Mm-hmm. They want the Bulls to shoot as many threes as possible and get the offense going as quickly as possible. So that's also playing a role in his slump. They're not doing half-court offense at a high level for the Chicago Bulls right now, and that's part of the issue.
When you look at that half court, because that's great. I've been drilling that point home a lot on the dailies lately. When you look at that half court offense, to me, I get that what we want to be. I know that we want to attack the defense before it sets up. I get we want to take a lot of threes. I get that we want to do that. We want to move the ball around. But to me, I don't care how good you are in the fast break. You got to have some form of half-court offense to default to, especially because as the season goes on, as teams get more comfortable, as more teams figure you out, they're going to kick up the defensive intensity on you. You can't just run all the guys. And that was the one thing I did not want this team to be this season. I wanted them to play with a faster pace. I didn't want them to turn into a run-and-gun team. They are a run-and-gun team at this point.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I talked about it over on Chi-Town Sports. If the Bulls had taken 10 less threes, they shot 52 threes versus the Philadelphia 76ers and only scored 100 points. Had they taken 10 less threes and made 5 twos instead of, they would have won the game, 110 to 108. But the way that they're approaching things is just like, even when it's not going, bro, because in that second quarter, they only scored, 17 points? I believe they got outscored 39-17 in that second quarter versus Philadelphia. They kept shooting threes. At some point, the coach has to say, hey, guys, I know what we told you to do, but let's go back to the basics. Let's get a post up here for Vucevic. Let's attack the basket. Let's get a layup. Let's get some free throws. But instead of doing that, they just keep spamming threes, and it's frustrating, frankly, as a fan, bro. I ain't gonna even front.
Yeah, I just checked this to make sure. 52% of Kobe White's shots this year are above the break threes. And when you add in the 9.8% that's corner threes, that means that 61% of his shots are just 3-pointers this year.
Yeah. I mean, you see it across the league. Like Anthony Edwards, for example, like half of his shots have been threes. And like when you got that type of athleticism, I don't care if you're shooting 45% from three or not. That's criminal. You better take your butt to the lane, man. Go get some dunks, some layups, get the easy shot. But that's just the league right now. And it could be playing a role into why the league is down in terms of viewership overall for the last few years, because everybody wants to shoot the three. Analytics I wouldn't say it's killing basketball because the corner three has kind of revolutionized how we play basketball. It's important to take that corner three, but there's nothing wrong with taking layups and mid-range shots. It's just the reality of things. And the fact that coaches are coaching it out of players irritates me. It irritates me.
Yeah, and I get it. Like, you want to, it's a copycat league. You want to keep up, but like, you don't need to lose some of the things. Like, it's easy offense for a reason. Pick and roll is the easiest offense that you can run because it's simple. And you really, if you do it well, you can only stop it so much. Like, you can only contain a solid pick and roll game so much, especially now with the fact that you have so many players that are able to just shoot from all over the court. You would think that pick and roll could be even more dangerous, but they're almost eliminating it from the game. Another point, and I like to use numbers to back things up because you made a great point here as far as Kobe being on ball more last year than on ball. Just to highlight this, Kev, 60% of Kobe White's buckets this year are assisted. How much do you think were assisted last year of Kobe White's shots?
Probably like 30%.
39%, not too that far off.
40%, yeah, of course, because he had the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
he was the point
he was
guard.
the one assisting. Exactly, he was the one giving the assist, and so it's just crazy that, like, again, and this is just the thing that, I know that people are going to blame Billy Donovan, but you also got to look at AK to a degree. Like, AK and his roster construction, it's like Kobe has had to change his role every single year, and to his credit, he's always found a way to be productive in those roles. Io's role has changed every single year. And it's like, it's really hard to evaluate players because from year to year, what you're asking from them is so different that it's like, how can you really say? Like, what can you really say?
And this is why, like, Josh Giddey, okay, sure. Go get Josh Giddey, try to get a point guard that's going to step in and take over Lonzo Ball's spot, so on and so forth. But this is why I believe the Bulls messed up on trading Alex Caruso. Because, one, the defense is falling completely off a cliff. And two, you took the ball out of Kobe White's hand, which was showing to see one of his strengths. First couple of seasons, like, oh, we don't know if he could handle the ball, but then he went and worked with dribble too much, figured out how to attack, and he got better at it. And then you take away his strengths again right after he got good at it. Like, when he finally got good at it, you took it away from him. And you probably, the way Josh Giddey is playing, unless the Bulls are just obstinate and say, oh, we're going to re-sign him anyway, you know what I'm saying? You might have just gave away Caruso for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how it continues to develop, man. The Bulls just continue to do Bulls-like things, and maybe. And I keep trying to give it a little bit of credit, and I know I make a mistake about it. I know this is my brain trying to rationalize things that are honestly pissing me off, but I hope that this is by design because I tell you what, the Bulls are looking more and more likely to keep that top 10 pick. Is all I can say.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good thing and a bad thing. Like it's good because they'll be able to. It's a lot of people in this draft that can transform this organization. It's bad because we got to do this for 82 games.
Yeah, that's a fact. Ryan says, curious what you both think will be the starting five today, considering Vooch is out. Jalen obviously starts at center, but will it be with the four guards or one of P. Will Buzelis? I don't think Buzelis is starting anytime soon. P. Will could start, even though he's on a minutes restriction, but I think they're going to probably bring him off the bench for the first two games, typically. And so I think we are going to probably see four guards and Jalen Smith out there. What do you think, Kev?
I think we're going to see Julian Phillips. He did got a couple of starts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point there. So we'll see. How do you feel about Julian Phillips' season so far?
I think it's a mixed bag. He got to shoot the three a little bit more confidently sometimes because he doesn't have a pure jump shot in the sense of like, wow, it's pretty. Like you see the rotation, you see the flick of the wrist. Sometimes those jump shots are flat. And I just, especially on that corner three, he'll shoot a few air balls here and there, but his athleticism is undeniable. His go get it, his stick to itiveness is in there. He's going to go in there and muddy it up with the bigs. I like that about him. He's going to try to get offensive rebounds. He's going to try to get putbacks, and he's going to go out there and even try to block shots. So I'm not mad at all of that, but I do want to see him become a more consistent shooter in terms of being confident about it.
That's a fact. Deanna says TC might start. I don't know about that one. Now with everybody healthy, I don't even think he plays today. What do you think, Kev?
Torrey Craig, I mean, you don't know. I mean, it's Billy Donovan. You don't know. We might even see catfish out there. It is what it is.
Your doppelganger? I'm good on that. But by the way, y'all, Deanna can sing. That girl be singing, not just sing. She be singing, Cat.
Who's
Did you know
Deanna?
that?
Where I see her? I don't see.
Oh, you
She in
don't
the
see the
chat.
comment at the bottom?
I see Flockavelli.
No, the comment on the screen. You don't see the comment that I put up on the
Oh,
screen?
okay. Deanna Marie. Okay, I see
She
you.
be singing, bro. She be singing.
Hey, and I'm telling you, I ain't going nowhere. Go ahead, girl.
Where do you get your Bulls talking to serenade at the same spot? Right here. That's all I can say on that one. That is hilarious. That's real funny. We haven't talked to any about Dalen Terry. I know me and you haven't talked. Like, how you feel about Dalen Terry's season so far?
I mean, it's a regular Dalen Terry season. Shout out to Crash Bandicoot. He's shown progression though. Like real talk,
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him. Him and Julian Phillips are kind of in the same boat, even though he got what 2 years on Julian Phillips, or was it one?
I think it's only one. They're close, probably close. Oh, in the seat, as far as in the league, yeah, I
Yeah,
think he's been in two.
I
No,
think
this is
his
Dalen's third year. This is
This is his
Julian's
third.
second year, so just one.
Yeah, so like they're about the same though. They're gonna scrap, claw, get it how they live. Like they got to get it out the mud because they don't know how many minutes they're gonna get either one of them. But I'm a fan of Dalen Terry. Like I know there's a lot of people that think he is scrub. I just don't think so. Like I think that he's one of those players that he's a role player and he's gonna go out there and give you everything that he got for the 6 minutes that he play in the game, bro. I'm not mad at it. He gonna get some steals, some deflections, some fouls, some rebounds, a three, a putback, whatever it is, he gonna go out there and do it.
Somebody getting their ass kicked is all I can say. That's all I can say. Yeah, I got no. You got anything else? I'm still the internet's still really pissing me off, Kev. I'm not gonna lie to you,
We waiting on the starters still. In like 3 minutes, they're gonna
yeah.
announce the starters. But again, man, I'm wondering how we're gonna. Well, first of all, we haven't talked about Zach LaVine either. He's gonna have to carry the shoulder the load offensively, and unfortunately for him, when he's had to do that, the Bulls have lost this season. Each time that he scored 30 points, they lost. So, like, if he has to go for a 30 or 40 tonight, does that equal a win for the Chicago Bulls?
Probably not. But I mean, let me not say that. Like the way Zach's playing right now, I love it because Zach's kind of doing what Donovan Mitchell's doing in Cleveland. I know the teams are in very different spots, but like you'll see games where Donovan Mitchell has like quietly 22, 24 points. But then it's that game every like 5 games or so where it's like, hey, they need a big fourth quarter and Donovan Mitchell drops 38 on the head on your head, right? And so like Zach LaVine is really picking his spots now, and you love to see that. Like he's taking his time and understanding how to play within the framework of the team. Now he started off the season playing the best defense. Now it's starting to taper off. Some he's kind of going back to what he's been defensively before. I still think he's been more engaged defensively than what he's been regularly. But I agree with you. Like at some point we're due for one of those 45-point Zach LaVine games. That's what we're due for. So
And again, like it just hasn't translated to winning for whatever reason when it comes to Zach putting up that amount of points, that amount of shots. It's fun to watch, but it just doesn't lead to winning basketball. And that's mainly because it freezes out Vooch. But with Vooch being out tonight, he's going to have to pick up the slack. Vooch gives you 20 and 10. Zach giving you 20 points as well. That means that Zach is probably going to have to give you 30 to 35 points tonight, with maybe Kobe giving you the 20 to 25, because he got to come out that slump tonight. We're not going to be able to rely on Jalen Smith. I mean, as much as I like Jalen Smith, he's way too inconsistent. Like for every time he go 2 for 4 from 3, he'll follow it up by going 0 for 5, 0 for 6. So it's just one of those things.
random question. Just look this up real quick. What quarter do you think Zach LaVine's scoring the most points in this season?
The third?
That's exactly right. He's averaging almost 10 points per game in third quarters.
Yeah, he's been that guy, that go-to guy in the third quarter. And it's crazy, though, because Vooch has been the go-to guy in the first half. And then they come out and go to Zach in the third quarter. Vooch kind of falls off. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to go try to get them back going in the fourth quarter. They got to find a better balance there.
Yeah, and Kobe, who was one of the better clutch players in the league last year, I don't know if this is concerning, or you tell me what. How many shots do you think Kobe White's averaging in fourth quarters so far this season?
1.5.
You've been smart. See, this is how y'all know Kev actually watch. See, don't fuck with those content creators that don't actually watch basketball. That's crazy. 1.9 shots in the
Yeah,
fourth quarter.
it's been like he's been disappearing, but it's
Yeah.
really because the Bulls, because they shoot so many threes, you got Josh Giddey chucking threes in the fourth quarter. You got Zach chucking threes in the fourth quarter. Everybody just coming down and shooting, especially in the fourth quarter, to try to get back in games because the Bulls have been finding themselves down by 15, 20 points quite often. Kobe can't go to work. And because he's a catch and shoot player, they're not passing it to him. It's just one of those things, man. This new style of offense is taking the ball out of Kobe's hands and it's hurting him.
Yeah, it definitely is hurting them. And well, first of all, that's wild using them. I'm definitely not reading that. That's crazy. Kobe is so inconsistent. He is, but I think that when we've kind of talked about that over this episode, I think it's like his role has changed. So I'm like, not everybody can be an off. Like some people are better when they're on ball. That just is what it is, and it's a style. Now, even when Kobe's on ball, he's not selfish. Like he led the league in clutch assists last year, but guess what? He was on ball. He had the opportunity to make those decisions, and so now you're seeing that it's either in Giddey's hands or it's in Lonzo's or somebody like that. And they're trying to make Kobe this off-ball player. I mean, to his credit, he said he did want to grow that aspect of his game this year. He said he wanted to grow that part, and to the degree that he has, but it's definitely, I think, added as well to being more for a player that was already inconsistent. You take the ball out of their hands, I think it's naturally made him a little bit more inconsistent because he's just not able to find that rhythm like he had opportunities to do last year.
That's facts. I'm trying to see if they announced the starting lineup.
I just refreshed. I don't think they have yet.
Nope. I'm mad we're not getting Alonzo versus LaMelo tonight, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I really like watching LaMelo Ball play basketball, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's so fun. His personality, like he plays like a little kid out there, bro. Like he's just having fun. And his personality's been the same since Ball in the Family, since the BBB brand, since all of that. Like he hasn't changed anything, bro. I love to see it.
Yeah, and so I host when I do Locked On NBA, the new show over there. One of the hosts there is the host of Locked On Hornets, and he's talked a lot about how like LaMelo Ball and like he kind of has an in with the team as well. And he like talks about like what goes on behind the scenes and a little bit with it. And everything I hear about LaMelo likes me like him more and more as a person. Like LaMelo's he's just one of those guys. Like I'm not saying he's a perfect basketball player. He's not. He makes some mistakes. He takes some bad shots at times. But LaMelo's just that guy that if he's on your team, you watch, and even if he's not, you're just like, I like that dude. I like him. That's it.
Yeah, he like one of the homies. He like the type of dude that'll try to like trip you while you're walking down the street. Type.
Oh, that's a big fact. That's a big fact. He plays practical jokes on people too. He got to. Like I refuse to believe LaMelo ain't playing practical jokes on people in the locker room.
Absolutely.
So still no line. See this every time you bet on the Bulls to get the lineup out 30 minutes before the game, they don't.
They usually do it on like clockwork.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
All right, we getting a home win tonight, Hayes.
We're not at home tonight.
Yes, we are. I thought we was at the crib.
Are we at home tonight?
I'm almost certain.
Oh, you're right. We are at home today.
Yeah, we at the crib.
Oh, fuck no. We're terrible at home. No.
Oh, man.
Damn, that actually made me a little bit less excited about this game. You remember back in the day, like the Derrick Rose era? Was that the last era that we had where it was like when teams came into, like you felt confident when the Bulls were playing at home, they were going to get it. It didn't matter who was playing. It didn't matter who, like you just felt confident. I remember Nate Robinson, that run that he had at home. Like the Bulls just had, like if you came into the UC, it was going to be difficult. Now people probably come into the UC and they're probably like, yeah, we probably won't have to play in the fourth quarter.
It's the Tom Thibodeau era. That was it. That's the last time the Bulls was legit. So, I don't know, man. It's just like Lovie Smith. Like Tom Thibodeau it was like, okay, you're a great coach, but it's time to make a change. But it probably shouldn't have had been. Because at the time, like a lot of us was tired of Tom Thibodeau. Like he was running players into the ground. Like Luol Deng almost died. every time.
Every time I say that, I have to always make sure I tell people, like, no, literally, he almost died. It's not a joke. He literally almost died.
He almost lost his life trying to
crazy,
play
bro.
for Tom Thibodeau. And he has changed and evolved as a coach. But just like with the Bears with Lovie Smith, I believe that continuity, whether it's up and down in terms of wins and losses and the results of getting championships, you kind of want to have that coach in place that's going to get you to the playoffs. That's going to get you to the opportunity to win. And the Bulls, they just don't do that. They haven't done that since Phil Jackson, man. It's irritating to see.
That's a fact. Starting lineup is out. Josh Giddey, Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Ayo Dosunmu, Jalen Smith. 4-guard lineup today.
Mm-hmm. You said it. You called it.
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the case. I don't think Modest Bucilis starts any this season. I just don't think that,
unless it's mad injuries, because that's
unless it's mad injuries, or at the trade deadline we get active, and that's just what we got to do at that point. Like,
that's when Ayo started though as a rookie. Once people started getting hurt, but we know that Billy Donovan, he don't really start rookies. He barely even play them. So this fact that Montes is getting minutes here on the big roster is a step forward for Billy Donovan.
That's a fact. I think over 20 minutes per game the last 3 games. So we'll see what that brings. But that's it for us for today. Me and Kev got some things to catch up on as far as an episode for NBA Central we haven't done. So I'll be back at halftime. Kev, you're welcome to come back at halftime as well, man. Make sure you guys are following the channel at Bull Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns. bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. We out this mug.
Patrick Williams is playing tonight. And follow me, Chicago White Sox Central, ED.
Chicago White Sox Central, Chicago Cubs Central, Chi-Town Sports Central. Go and support Big Kev, man.
We own it.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media.